Hello and welcome to another fall daily devotion. As today we are in the book of Joel, our first lectionary. Again, as we've revised kind of the means of how we're doing daily devotions, we're going to read each of the lectionary texts leading up to Sunday service so that hopefully you'll have those things to think about through the week before we worship together, and that the service will just be all that more meaningful to you. But anyway, Joel 2:23 through 32 is our first reading. Be glad, people of Zion. Rejoice in the Lord your God, for he has given you the autumn rains, because God is faithful. God sends you abundant showers, both autumn and spring rains as before. The threshing floors will be filled with grain, and vats will overflow with new wine and oil. I'll repay you for the years the locusts have eaten away, the great locust and the young locust, the other locust and a locust swarm. That's a lot of the other locusts. My great army that I sent among you. You will have plenty to eat until you're full. You will praise the name of the Lord your God, who has worked wonders for you. Never again will my people be shamed. Then you will know that I am in Israel and that I am your God. There is no other. Never again will my people be shamed. And after I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions. Even on my servants, both men and women, I'll pour out my spirit in those days. I'll show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire and billows of smoke. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. For on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem there will be a deliverance, as the Lord has said, even amongst the survivors whom the Lord calls. Well, for food for thought today, autumn rain sure comes to mind, especially this week. But this phrase, particularly in this apocalyptic text from Joel, about people crying out to God, people being in persecuted state, people being conquered by their enemies, a great plague, a great famine. Things have not gone well for Israel at all, and they're very disheartened. And this phrase that comes to mind in this, it's just a short verse 23, because God is faithful. God hasn't thrown in the towel on Israel, even if Israel has thrown in the towel on God. And there are days, maybe you've had one today, where you just feel like giving up. We had just a Sunday sermon about being discouraged. These tie closely together, almost as if somebody who was sitting around planning the lectionary thought, hey, that kind of fits like a puzzle. Indeed it do. But it's easy to get down. And I don't want to, make any kind of false assumptions. Nobody who says my spiritual life is always going on the uphill is telling the truth. It's more like a hill and valley, and sometimes feeling like a flat line a little bit. But this prophetic text says good times are coming. When in the dark shadows of life, when you're feeling at the bottom, better days are ahead. So hang in there. Why? Not because it's random or because what goes around comes around, though there may be some truth to that phrase. No, but because God is faithful. Always. God's with us, even when we say, take a back seat, God, or even when we ignore God, or even when we turn away. God says, here I am. The promise is that God eventually will deliver, and we are always in God's hands. Most days I need to hear that again and again. A God who's faithful. Not all of us have that experience in our daily lives with the people we love, but God is. Hang your hat on that today. No matter if it's a good day or a bad day, God is with us. Amen.